people's house. Big Zeus. It's the people's house. Big Zeus. Going through the gate at 1600 on the map. Supposed to be the people's house, I make it like a trap. Marble floors and chandeliers, I'm balling through the wall. Power through the people, yeah, I gotta make that call. Trapping for the team, red and white and blue, that's me. Voices on the block, I'm breaking through, I got the keys. I'm in the lobby, yeah, I'm moving like an OG. Posted in the Oval Office in the executive suite. Signing for the fam, yeah, you know my game strong. Freedom with the banner, and I got my chains on. Secret Service watching snipers sitting on the roof. Truth is hitting hard, I bury you inside the booth. Founding father's vision, yeah, I'm flexing with this cash. Big pharma, big tech, turn these dreams to bag. I'm the voice of the hood, trying to come and storm the gates. Ballots in my hand, but the system's overweight.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
White, yeah, but the stains running deep. Promise they selling it, but you know it ain't coming cheap. Legends walk these
W. Marissa.
Okay, now it's photo ops, power plays all day. I'm trapping for the vote. Big Zeus. It's the people's house. Zeus.
Powers in the air. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We knocking on your door.
Zeus. We wanna hear your soul.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah. Who you think they asking for? They asking for that smoke.
Let's go.
People, them players, yeah, y'all think this is a joke. Take it back and write the code. 1600, got your soul. Put my portrait on the wall. They staring at me like I'm cold. Greatest story ever told. I will never ever fold. I'm trapping out the West Wing, doing deals all in the dark. Make your dreams come true. All I need is a spark.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday to Memorial Day. Good morning. Maribel, good morning. All right.
Outside and the gates is locked.
This power never divides.
Sitting for the block. Head buses make them wanna fight. 1600.
Do it all.
All night.
The people's house is a trap. Got the power, get it back. Money talk loud, time to clap. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a fact. It's a rap.
I'ma bring it back. We gotta bring it back.
Powers in the air. It's the people's house. We knocking on your door. It's the people's house.
We wanna hear your soul. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. You know what we came to do. We gotta get in and out, all right? Like a burger, all right? Let's get this show started, and then we'll get up out of here. We don't got all morning to do this, ladies and gentlemen.
It's like I'm stuck in time.
Alrighty then. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, Little Hawk. You know what we came to do. It's going to be some easy work, all right? Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. It's Monday. Let's go.
It's deja vu when I'm running up these racks.
I'm like the Terminator screaming, I'll be back.
It's deja vu when
And I am.
First class.
It's like every week I got to take out the trash. I'm on top of my game, ahead of the class. You can tell that I made it. Look at my grass. True.
Cars in the garage, the tanks full of gas.
I play the game so raw, I won't
finish last.
Sitting in my living room screaming how we made it. Right, Little Hawk?
It's supposed to happen when you get your famous.
The algorithm turned me to a maniac. I guess we going viral cause my Zodiac. I got all these numbers on my spreadsheet. Right, Evan? Benjamin Franklin is my bestie. Let's go.
My ex don't mean they love me.
They don't get
replies if they text me.
Nope. I say it with my chest cause I mean it. Right, swerving with what we do. Woo. Call me a master with a new whip. Ow. Here goes. This is my favorite part.
I'll tell you what.
Here goes.
I went to Zeus's live in a couple of days. That shit was radical.
Oh, very radical.
It was horrible. I'm like, Zeus has gone way off.
Oh.
It's like deja vu.
It hurts It does hurt every time. This is what they say.
It's like deja vu.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Happy Monday. We survived another weekend under this current administration. We'll get into that in just a second. But you know exactly why we are gathered here this lovely Memorial Day morning. Once again, we all must unite together to save this great country of ours from the evil clutches of guess who? You know his name, Donald J. Trump and his legion of MAGA demons, his deranged lunatic supporters who clearly are hell-bent on destroying this great country of ours. But before I get into that, let's take care of some very important housekeeping items. For those of you who do not know who I am, I go by the name Zeus, or as some like to say, Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H? Well, it's quite simple. The first H is, well, because I'm honest. I'm the most honest person on social media, hands down. The second H, well, it's because, honestly, I'm humble. If I get it wrong, honestly, I will be the first to apologize to you. But here's the thing. Just because your feelings are hurt, it does not mean I owe you an apology. Most likely, it means you need to sit your special behinds down and listen to this special broadcast. W. Zeus. Thank you. You guys are so... I love you, all of you, seriously. And then the last and the final H, ladies and gentlemen, which we all know is probably one of the most important H's out there. It is because I am and will always remain, you've guessed it, the most handsome. W. Cindy. Thank you so much, Cindy. W. Rick, you all do an outstanding job, especially when I go and venture into these red spaces and deliver these crushing blows to MAGA. And what we do, ladies and gentlemen, is we hold these folks accountable for all the lies and the misinformation that they continue to repeat on behalf of their dear leader, Donald J. Trump, who we all know is the most incompetent president ever. He's the most incompetent leader in mankind history. In all of the time mankind has been on this beautiful planet of ours, Donald J. Trump and his legion of MAGA demons are going to go down as probably one of the most incompetent leaders and the most incompetent group of individuals. These people hate themselves. I have to ask these Trump supporters, I say, when you wake up in the morning, MAGA, why do you wake up every morning and look in the mirror and tell yourself, I hate you and I hate the country? Like, when did it become cool to hate this country? And so what we'll do is this, ladies and gentlemen, do we have any self, I hate you and I hate the country? Like, when did it become cool to hate this country? And so what we'll do is this, ladies and gentlemen, do we have any Trump? Please identify yourselves in the chat. It won't take long for me to address you. Anyone out there still supporting this lunatic? The one that got the $400 million gift from a corrupt country. Okay, no one wants to identify themselves as a Trump supporter. That's probably a good thing because, to be quite honest, it's safer that you don't. But what I'll do is this. I'm going to give you an opportunity, like I give all you other Trump supporters on TikTok, especially this knucklehead named Snuggie, who went live this week and went and spread more lies. If you do not want me to ruin your breakfast, lunch, your dinner, your appetite, everything in between, including the Cheez-Its and the Diet Coke, because I know that's what MAGA demons consume in order to keep the lies going, then you might want to leave this live because it's going to get very, very uncomfortable for you. Honestly, it will. Because there's going to be so much truth, and if you don't want to deal with it, yeah, you should leave. But if you don't got to take my word for it. How about this? Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country,
And you do.
if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too.
It's options.
But if you're not happy, you can leave.
There you go. And now with that being said, the doors to the Thunderdome have officially closed. And honestly, we're all adults here. I take no responsibility for anybody that subjects themselves to what's happening, especially MAGA, because at the end of the day, there's going to be lightning bolts flying around. But we keep it clean, right? We got to keep it clean. But I do not allow Trump supporters, honestly, to be victims around me. It's the most disgusting and it's the most evil thing I could ever think of. Because the moment these Trump supporters went and invaded the United States Capitol on January 6th, they want me to let it go. I'll never let January 6th go. He could give you as many pardons as he wants to, but you're still a criminal in my eyes, W. Zeus. You're all still criminals. He could even give you all some dead presidents, you know what I'm talking about, to try to make it look like it's all on the up and up. You will never, ever be forgiven in American history for what you did on the assault on our Capitol. That's the worst thing anybody born in the United States of America could do. Go to the Capitol and do what? You bring the gallows and you want it to... It's unforgivable. So don't get in my box. Don't get around me and start crying, MAGA, because it won't work. The only thing Trump supporters, honestly, they need to do the same energy you all have to try to say stuff like, oh, Obama was a bad president or Biden was a bad president. I want you to keep that same energy when we're talking about your dear leader who is hell-bent on just ruining this country, especially what he's doing to Harvard. And I'll get into that in just a quick second. But let's start today off with the understanding that today is Memorial Day. 90% of people out there, they didn't have to go to work today, so I know there's no excuse for you. All right, this is a day we should be honoring those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for this country. Those men and women out there, those brave men and women out there who put on that uniform. You know, my dad, he was in the Air Force. Shout out to Zeus's dad, ladies and gentlemen. Zeus's dad, and all of the men and women out there who made that sacrifice for this country. And we know Donald J. Trump, that draft dodging. You know what he actually said? That is just the most disrespectful thing. He said, instead of, serving this country, he did something like that. You wouldn't believe this, but he said he did something like serving this country, and he called it his own personal Vietnam. And what he was saying was dating women. He considers dating women back when he was younger his own personal Vietnam. And then today, ladies and gentlemen, he's basically been carrying on this negative energy towards our United States military. And what we'll do is we'll start the show off like. I think Morning Joe this morning captured the essence of how Donald Trump celebrated Memorial Day. And we'll just let this get onto the record. And then what we'll do is we'll get to judgment and we'll do what we got to do, right? Because we got to send somebody to hell.
A shot there at the Tomb of the Unknown, which is at Arlington National Cemetery, just across the Potomac from Washington, D.C. President Trump is expected to go there later today to lay a wreath, but he has started his Memorial Day, as he often does on these holidays, with a lengthy all-caps social media post. We should note this post includes nothing of the sacrifice made by U.S. Armed Forces at home and abroad, but rather, happy Memorial Day to all, including the scum that spent the last 4 years trying to destroy our country. And it goes on from there about immigration, and in particular, a scathing broadside against the judges, the federal judges, including the Supreme Court, that has tried to rein in his immigration policies. We're certainly not going to read all of that missive. You can go to Truth Social if you care to. But that's where the president's mindset is this morning.
I'm going to stop it right there. What a huge disgrace this evil creature is sitting in the United States, in the White House, and you can't fix your mouth to say one nice thing in honor of our men and women who've served this great country. And this is partially why I call everybody that still supports Donald Trump a seditionist, treasonous traitor. You're nothing but vassals of transgression. If Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, Zeus were to have said anything like this, you all would be literally crying your eyes out. But you're going to sit here and allow your dear leader to disrespect this country and make it all about himself. Somebody has to go to hell this morning, ladies and gentlemen, and there's no other person I could think of than the sitting president of the United States, who's basically, honestly, it's the worst thing that's ever happened. But like I said, it's happening because there's a great curse upon this nation, because we got a legion of people out here who've allowed themselves to be vassals of transgression for Donald Trump. So, ladies and gentlemen, and all of you Trump supporters, I got to say this to the MAGA group out there. This is why I have to do this. You will be judged. You don't need to know. Democrats has a lot of shame in their party. Oh, okay. Whoever wrote that comment to Big Zeus, send me a guest request, honestly, because I'll try my best to entertain that somewhat of a thought. It wouldn't even count as a thought where I'm from. It's MAGA trying to show me there's life there. There's no life there. No, it's just evil, wicked, demonic forces. And what we're going to do is judge it, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, to the person that left that ridiculous comment in my chat while I'm in the middle of bringing down the heaviest hammer of truth on your dear leader, including you, may God do not have mercy on their souls. Do with them as you wish. Please dispose of these MAGA demons as conveniently as possible. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send Donald J. Trump and his legion of demons where they belong. Straight to hell!
Silence, you MAGA demon!
Why don't you come up here, Mr. You don't need to know. Why don't you come up here? All right. But if you don't come up, I've sent him a guest request, but most likely they don't want to get in the box because, it's like what happens in the good book of the Bible when the demons, they run across Jesus and Jesus sent them into the pigs and then the pigs ran off the cliff because they would rather run off the cliff than to get in the box and face their judgment. So guess what we're going to do? W Zeus. Come on up here, John. John, you got something to say to me real quick? I'm only going to be available to talk to MAGA for about a good hour and a half, actually less than an hour and a half, and then I got other things to do. So listen up, John, and any of you other demons. If you are brave enough to actually type it, send me a guest request, and I will bring you up here, and we will unpack whatever the demon has asked you to say to me, all right? And it won't take time because I'm an expert at debunking and destroying all demonic forces, all right? But if you don't come up, then I'm just going to ask my mods to please put these folks in a straight jacket because I don't need you in here disturbing the peace, right? You know what I mean? Ludicrous. I don't need it, John. Send me a guest request or zip it. We are trying to save a country right now, and we have somebody in there in the White House that's hell-bent on making life hell for everybody, all right? But it won't work because a lot of us, we're agents of light, not darkness, and we know how to fight this stuff. W to the chat. What we'll do now, ladies and gentlemen, is, there's a couple of things that I wanted to make sure we get on the record. And this is actually, it comes straight from the horse's mouth. So he goes to West Point this weekend. How many of you saw the ridiculous stuff he did at West Point? Once again, another example of him disrespecting our military. All right. And he gets up there and makes it all about, guess who, himself and politics. So what we'll do is, we'll start it off with what he says is the job of the United States military at West Point, ladies and gentlemen. And this just goes to show you, this man has absolutely no clue what he is doing in the White House. I mean, he really doesn't. I mean, for MAGA to let him get away with saying stuff like this, it just shows me you don't love this country. It's like he says,
you're either stupid or you hate the country.
And he's talking about you, MAGA.
Around the world at the point of a gun, the military's...
Hold on.
Adversaries, killing America's enemies and defending our great American flag like it has never been defended before.
Listen to what he says, the American military.
The job of the U.S. Armed Forces is not to host drag shows, to transform foreign cultures, but to spread democracy to everybody around the world at the point of a gun.
So the job of the United States military is not to host drag shows. Who in the audience thinks that's what the job of the United States military was? Because that's not what I understood. I thought it was, things like projecting power, standing shoulder to shoulder with our allies and, defending the homeland, stuff like that. But this is where his mush brain has gone. But this is not really a mush brain. This is demonic forces at work, ladies and gentlemen. And he's trying to spread the MAGA demon to these people. And I said, I got to say something because we cannot allow stuff like this to continue to go unchecked. Listen up. Anybody that believes anything Donald Trump says, you're a weak-minded person. I just got to say it. All right. And you just don't care about yourself. That's what's going on. But what we'll do is we'll help you understand you are worth something. All right. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? I don't have to be the scum. I don't have to be the garbage Donald Trump treats me like, because, there's more to life than just being scum for Donald Trump. And I didn't want to call you garbage, but didn't you all wear trash bags right before you voted for him? Right? W Zeus. You did. But then, he turns around and then he goes and bashes NATO at the same time. I said, oh my gosh. I mean, this is somebody that is the commander in chief of the United States. But why would you bash our allies?
750 against 505. We had a great mandate, and it gives us the right to do what we want to do to make our country great again. And that's what we're going to do. And on day one, I deployed our military to the southern border. And since that day, we've reduced the number of illegal border crossings where there used to be hundreds of thousands of people coming into our country a day. We had nobody come in the last week and a half. We were at 99.999%.
Lies.
99.
He's lying.
0.999.
And I can give you the numbers.
That was with the help of our military. We had one person come in. One. You know why? He got very sick. We brought him through to have him brought to a hospital. One person. And for that, please don't hold me responsible, but that's okay. They did the right thing. Gone are the days where defending every nation but our own was the primary thought. We are putting America first. We have to put America first. We have to rebuild and defend our nation. And very shortly, you're going to see a nation better than it's ever been. And you see that with the trade. For years, we've been ripped off by every nation in the world on trade. We've been ripped off at the NATO level. We've been ripped off like no country has ever been ripped off, but they don't rip us off anymore. They're not going to rip us off anymore. And you're seeing it. You have to watch what we're doing in trade. I know it's not your primary thing, but it's quite important in all fairness. But watch. You'll see what's going on.
So he's telling these, cadets, these 1,000 or so graduates, hey, we're being ripped off by NATO, our allies. I really can't sit back here and really allow stuff like this to go unchecked. He just got done saying that somehow he thinks the United States military at one point the job was all about hosting drag shows. No one ever thought that. We all know what made United States of America the most dominant country on the planet, right? Up until he got into office. Now we're weak like we've never been weak before. And then he goes on and he starts just bashing our allies, NATO, because of what he thinks of our trade imbalances. But remember, this is the guy that has supposedly negotiated all kinds of deals with 200 plus countries. Oh, bring you up? I did send you a guest request. I did. Okay, the mods pinned it. All right. Come on up here. Let's get straight to it. I don't got all morning. I sent you a guest request. Oh, okay. I see you. Okay. I don't know why you didn't accept it. How can I help you?
Why do you always bash people? Why do you always judge?
Well, let's calm down for a second. Who did you vote for?
I'm calm. I'm perfectly calm. I voted for Trump.
Okay, that's
but
why.
I don't support the guy.
Then what?
I don't support the guy.
No, when did you stop supporting him?
I don't support no
if you don't support him, then why are you upset with me? Because that's what I'm doing.
I'm not upset with you.
Wait a
minute. I'm just referring to what you said. People will be judged. Who? You to judge me?
Yes.
Who do you to judge me?
You will.
Who?
You will be judged. I'm Zeus.
By who?
Did you hear? You asked me. I'm Zeus. Now, who are you, demon?
You're
a demon. You're a demon. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
You're a demon.
I'm going to put you on mute and minister to your dark soul. You obviously can't control yourself. You're possessed. You're possessed. Listen to me. You don't support Trump, but you voted for him. Correct? That means that means listen to me. And I'm saying this because honestly, I love you, but I got to help you.
You don't know me.
You
don't know me.
Were possessed.
I don't know you.
You were possessed.
I don't judge you.
You listen.
Come on.
Listen to me.
Really?
I don't gotta listen. You're interrupting me when I'm talking to help you.
You're a so-called rapper. Are you a rapper? So-called rapper?
Okay, I got this.
Stop me. I don't care.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me warm that lake of fire up. You just go and do what anyone tells you to do, and I think I recognize you. I think I do, honestly. When you first started talking to me, I kind of got a clue, but I was hoping at some point there would be a breakthrough. But there's no breakthrough with the demon like that, ladies and gentlemen. So you know what we got to do? Let's go ahead and send that demon where he belongs, straight to hell.
Silence, you.
I'll touch it. To all the parents out there, make sure you raise your children right so that they don't get on TikTok and do stuff like that, all right? Because that was easy to do. W. Zeus. I'm not even mad at that person. I'm mad at their mom and their father. I'm mad at their mom and their father because guess what? You've raised someone that will go into a voting booth and they'll just do anything because the person is a Republican, even though the person that they're supporting is basically pushing all kinds of policies and things like that that are going to cause them harm. Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear what Mike Johnson said? 4.8 million people he wants to take off Medicaid. He said these are guys that are sitting at home collecting Medicaid and they need to get out there and get back to work. Well, where are they going to work? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to make Apple bring those phone factories back here. When is that going to happen? 2020. So you want these people to get off of Medicaid and wait 20 years to get a job at Apple. W. Zoo. I blame the parents. So we got Donald Trump going to West Point, back to the story at hand, the lecture at hand. We got him going to West Point and just totally humiliating our country, you know. But then I wanted to get this on the record as well. And then we'll go to the box and we will talk to anybody brave enough to get into the box, honestly. He goes off on he speaks to these reporters yesterday, and we all know what this is about. He goes and he gives us an update on the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. All right. Now, this is the same guy who promised us that he says, I know Putin and I know him very well. And I know Zelensky and I know him very well. And when I get elected, what I am going to do is I'm going to go get on the phone and I'm going to say, look, guys, I know you. You make a deal, and this thing is going to be over in 24 hours. Now, obviously, I'm paraphrasing it. But this is the same guy that we all saw win the election. This is Donald J. Trump. Look at us now, 4 months into his administration. And isn't it, to me, bizarre that every time he gets involved with any type of negotiations, any type of deals, it actually gets worse. It's the scariest thing on the face of the earth right now, if you ask me, is Donald Trump being involved with any type of negotiations, because I know the moment that he gets involved, it's going to go from bad to worse. And we all saw this. You had a 2.5 hour call with Putin last week. The peace did not decrease. Okay, it did not. I mean, it didn't. The peace did not increase. It decreased. And now there's been like 3 or 4, I don't know, maybe 100 or so, the largest attack since the whole conflict broke out. All right. So Putin is actually getting more aggressive. So anybody with common sense, you would say, obviously, Donald, your art of the deal isn't working. Every time you call, you make matters worse. So if I were you, Trump, honestly, stop calling. Let somebody else do it because you're not good at this. You're terrible at this. And so Putin has gone off now. Putin is lashing out and he's taking out his frustration on Trump. He's taking it out on Ukraine, and Trump remains silent. And he got called out by Zelensky. And so you know what he had to do? He had to put on his, golf outfit. He was wearing his golf outfit a little bit, but he put on his blazer to try to make it look like that's not what he was doing. And he gets in front of the cameras, ladies and gentlemen, and tries to act all bold and bad with Putin. So let's get this on the record, and then what we'll do is we'll get to judgment. And MAGA, you know this is a sign of weakness, right? This isn't a sign of strength. He gives us an update. All right, let's go.
Renaming a street in D.C. It was fairly innocent stuff by Americans yet. Let me take a look.
Can you provide us an update on Russia and Ukraine as well?
Yeah, I'll give you an update. I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
Mr. President, what do you want to do about that?
I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. We'll see what we're going to do. What am I going to tell you? Oh. You're the fake news, aren't you? You're totally fake. All right, any other questions? I don't like what Putin is doing, not even a little bit. He's killing people. And something happened to this guy, and I don't like it.
Wow, so he's standing, in front of the Marine One or whatever, and he's going out here and trying to act all strong and bold and bad in front of his supporters and saying, "I don't like Putin, this and that." In other words, Putin just ate his lunch and he's got Donald Trump on the ropes, and Trump has never looked as incompetent as he. I mean, he looks incompetent all the time, but at this point, ladies and gentlemen, it's crystal clear. The United States with Donald Trump's leadership, and guess who? Pete Keg's breath. You think these two can stand up to Russia, ladies and gentlemen? No. And so what we're going to do is warm up this lake of fire again. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to send them straight to hell. Look at how weak this great country of ours has become since Donald J. Trump. This never happened under Joe Biden. It never happened because Putin respected President Biden, but Putin does not respect this guy right here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and send them straight to hell. He doesn't respect Donald Trump at all. It's crystal clear.
Silence, you MAGA Dayton.
Nonchalant Mar, send me a guest request. I can't invite you up. All right. Obviously, you can't come up. All right. And so, one last thing, though, that Donald Trump talked about, ladies and gentlemen, in this rant was he says he brought up returning manufacturing jobs back to the United States. And so this goes back to every Trump supporter out there that thought Donald Trump was bringing jobs back with these tariffs, which we all know are nothing more than his strategy to grift other world leaders, other countries, right? If he wants to get a country to, send him money, he threatens them with tariffs, right? That's what this is all about. Oh, okay. So China, they don't want to give me anything? No. Okay. Well, we're going to slap some tariffs on them, and then hopefully they'll send some money to me through my crypto wallet, right? And so he tells his supporters he's doing it, to stop the stuff from coming into the country. He tells them, we need it because, we got to cut back on, we got to make America stronger again. We got to bring those jobs back, and they believe it, but we all know what it is. And so yesterday he let the cat out of the bag, ladies and gentlemen, and he basically told his supporters, in my opinion, he said, go ahead and kick rocks. All right. Because guess what? We don't need those jobs.
Military equipment, we want to make big things. We're big on those. Go ahead.
Secretary Bessent has said that we don't need to return textile manufacturing to the United States. How do you see, a lot of your reciprocal tariffs?
So Scott Bessent says we do not need to return textile manufacturing back to the United States. This is what Scott Bessent said. And so the reporter is asking Trump, well, what do you think about that?
We're pretty big on those low-income countries.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree. We're not looking to make sneakers and T-shirts. We want to make military equipment. We want to make big things. We want to do the AI thing with the computers and the many elements. But the textile, I'm not looking to make T-shirts, to be honest. I'm not looking to make socks. We can do that very well at other locations. We are looking to do chips and computers and lots of other things.
There you go, MAGA. There you go, MAGA. So that was an estimated 50 to 150,000 jobs that was supposed to come back here because of his terrorists. But now he says, you know what? We're not looking to do that. In other words, I'm not looking to give my supporters these jobs. And so guess what we're going to do? One more round of it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's warm up the lake of fire for these Trump supporters, all right? Because these are the same people that actually thought the terrorists were going to help them. Right? And then we tell them, well, all it is an additional tax on you. How's that going to help you? Oh, well, Zeus, those jobs need to come back home. Well, your dear leader just said those jobs don't need to be back here. He doesn't want you making T-shirts and socks. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and send them where they belong, straight to hell. I need a new camera. All right.
Silence, you MAGA.
W Zeus and W to all of you in the chat. I see all of you putting in the work and just totally giving it to these Trump supporters because they don't understand that they're in a world of hurt. I haven't even got into the big, beautiful bill. I don't got much time. But what we can do now, ladies and gentlemen, is should we go to the box, ladies and gentlemen, right now and see who's brave enough to get in the box and actually tell the truth at a certain point? Let's go to the box, all right? Because what I don't want to do now is we can't let up. We can't let these Trump supporters feel like there's going to be any time to rest or not. So listen up. And if you're someone out there that's getting upset or triggered by the way that I'm running my broadcast, let me give you another reminder.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right. So again, I don't allow people to be prisoners around me, ladies and gentlemen, our victims. Let's start off with our good friend Nutty. Good morning, Nutty. You beat up all the people this morning.
Good morning, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Happy Memorial. Well, you know what it is, Memorial Day. So we got to get out here and do this work to help stand shoulder to shoulder with all the men and women who served this country.
Absolutely. A shout out to my late grandfather who also served.
There you go.
My uncle and my countless family members who have served and who continuously serve this ungrateful nation.
Yeah.
But anyway, I will be remiss if I went further in my comments without acknowledging that yesterday was the 5th anniversary of the unaliving of George Floyd.
Yeah.
That is, for me, like 9/11.
Yeah.
That is a day that will always live in infamy.
Yeah.
Because that day in particular, it sparked something not only in the United States, but across the world.
Yeah.
It sparked something. And unfortunately, it seems like that movement has died, unalived down a little bit.
Yeah.
But we gotta keep George's name in our mouth.
Absolutely. Because that what happened to him, it should have never happened. Especially as far as we've came so far, you would have thought, especially after having Barack Obama as our president, you just sat there and you watched that video and you said, this is sick stuff.
Mind you, the same people who are screaming now about law and order are the same people who voted for a criminal.
Yeah.
But yet we're speaking in today's talks. We're talking about due process. We're talking about things of that nature. But George wasn't given due process. He was accused of something that turned out after the fact of his unalivement, that the $20 bill that he was suspected of using that was fake was not even a fake $20 bill.
Wow.
It was a real $20 bill. But yet these people wanted to go and say, well, in his past, he took shrugs. He did this, he did that. No, we're not talking about his past. We're talking about what led up to the very moment of his interaction with the Minneapolis Police Department.
Speak on it, Nutty.
I want to move further, but rest in power, Mr. Floyd.
Thank
rest
you.
in power.
Rest in power.
So Zeus, you were an interesting character.
Why?
Because you have a community that has your back. That's first of all. You have a community that has your back. So when we see you, when we see you in the lion's den, the proverbial lion's den, so sometimes we'll just come and we'll just sit in case.
I appreciate
but sometimes
that.
we'll hop in there with you.
Thank you, and I appreciate all of that. Yeah,
we need our brother to know that he ain't alone.
Nutty. This is what we do.
Yeah, we will fight this battle. So this lion den called Dame, and Dame, I know you're here, brother. I gotta give him credit, Zeus.
Yeah.
Give credit to where credit's due. Isn't
all
that
right.
what we've always been told?
Yeah, we do. I mean, because we're slowly destroying that foundation that he's built. It's built on sand, and it got to go. It needs to get built on rock.
Well, where I'm going to give him the credit is because number one, I personally cannot stand Blaga. I just think it's abhorrent. However, I don't recall any other person on that side of the aisle giving space to the opposition like he did.
Yeah.
He truly has taken a play out of your book. He's watching The Kingdom because I saw him emulating. I know that's a big word for you. I saw him emulating a few things that you do to run your life here. Oh. Now of course he allowed the over talking when it came to other Blaga members, And then he kept muting, some of us like me. He kept muting me.
Yeah.
But he still didn't answer any questions because his premise was, why should any man, not black man, but any man vote Democratic?
Yeah. And we're going to help him get that answer.
And I asked him, I said, fair question.
Okay.
That's a fair question.
Yeah.
But can you tell me one policy in the last 50 years that's within his lifetime? What one policy in the last 50 years a Republican has put forth and got signed into law that has helped black men, because they brought up race at this point. Can you tell me one? And so he went and said about how the Republicans helped pass the civil rights bill.
That don't count.
I'm like, bro, all of that got done under Democratic administrations.
Yes, W nutty for that, because see, they want to hitch their wagons onto things Democrats did and then say, well, we did it. No.
Yeah, no. But anyway, I don't want to talk about another live. I just wanted to give him credit because, listen, I can't stand his ideology, but I got it. Dame,
we were treated somewhat decent by Blagga over there with Dame, and he's one of the rarest people that are MAGA and Blagga that can do that. And if he has to try to emulate some of the things, I can live with it, because it's like fighting with myself at this point, right? W Zoo. It's like we're fighting. It's like we're fighting with our. But so we know where the traps and stuff like that are. But if he really wanted to be better at that, then he would actually have to start telling the truth. And you said he didn't tell the truth at all?
No.
Oh,
and the fact that
shame on Dame.
That Bretta was up there too. I was like, whoa, wait, what's going on here?
Because anyway. what we're doing is we're leaving, and I say it like this, we're leaving kibble out here. All right, and they're starving, they're hungry, and at a certain point, your stomach takes over, and guess what? You end up finding that you're eating the kibble. So. And it's because we've been bringing so much truth out here, all right? And this is honestly what's happening. Something's going on in their minds where they're going, you know what? What we're doing isn't working. We got to start trying to figure out a new way. And guess what they're doing? They're going W Zeus, W Nutty. That's what they're doing.
So in closing, let me get to the topic at hand. This orange Mussolini that's sitting behind you, that oracle of poop shoot. Look at that. Look, that perfect hole for poop to just come out, because that's all he spews.
Lord have mercy.
It is horrible that MAGA, you will continue supporting this guy. Listen to the guest that Zeus just brought up. He said that he voted for Donald Trump, but he doesn't support him.
Ain't that crazy?
Can you please make sense of that? Just because
I'm still trying to process that. I'm like, so where do I even begin with this situation?
Because Zeus, if I didn't support you, I wouldn't come to your channel on a daily basis.
Right.
I don't give my time, my energy, my efforts to things that I do not support. I do not give my vote to someone I don't support. See, when I went into the voting booth back this past November,
he did say that dopamine. Did we hear something different? Dopamine, you want to come up here and try to complete that for us? Because Nutty and I, we can do exactly that. We can help you get this understood. Sorry,
you know what? No. See, I love espousing our brother Swervin. He doesn't have the testicular fortitude to come up here and say he didn't.
Oh,
say
she. I met her in Dame's live. This is a sister. Let me get her. Let me see if we can get her to come on up here.
She doesn't have the testicular breastitude to come up here and say, because he clearly said that in front of 1,000.
Dopamine, I sent you a request. Maybe you're not okay. Now let's get this straight. Now, how you doing? What's up? How you doing?
Well, there's more than Zeus here.
Well, did you say hi to Nutty, my good friend Nutty, or you don't do that just yet? You got to get to know him.
No, hey, I'm not on the left. I don't behave that way.
You don't behave what way? You don't tell the truth? We know. We
know
you don't tell the truth.
I tell the truth. Yes, I do.
No. Because when you say I'm not on the left and I don't behave that way, the last time I checked, what we were doing over here, we were telling truth. So
Yes.
we are truth tellers.
Really?
So the fact is, madam, you should be behaving this way. We're going to tell truth, and we're going to shame you, the devil.
They're clapping for Nutty Dopamine. So you said something that he didn't say that, and again, they're telling me they're saying, Zeus, you shouldn't be so sweet and nice to her. But I'm going to try to give you an opportunity. What did you hear that knucklehead, that knuckle dragger say when he got in my box?
He did not say he doesn't support Trump. When
He
did he say
absolutely
that?
did, ma'am. He really did.
Zeus, you heard that.
He
Zeus.
did.
I cross my heart. Tell the truth. Hope to, you know.
I mean, first of all, Zeus.
Let's ask
ma'am,
the chat. Did he say that, chat? Yeah.
Ma'am, what's your name? I don't wanna disrespect you. What's your name?
Dopamine.
Dopamine?
Yeah.
Because I may not like your politics, but one thing I am not gonna
Thank
do,
you,
I'm not
Chad.
gonna disrespect a black woman. All right?
You okay
So
with
let's
us?
get that clear.
You okay with us referring to you as a black woman? Because you know we don't want to ruin your DEI, your hatred for DEI around here. You okay with us referring to you as a
I'm
black
fine,
woman?
Zeus.
Okay, all right. So that point goes to Nutty, and this is what we do. She knows she loves DEI.
So
I don't.
dopamine. Were you in the live when Zeus brought him up?
Yeah.
You did not hear him say that he voted for Trump, but he doesn't support him?
I did never heard that out of his mouth. Maybe the last one I didn't see it.
But he said it in front of 1.4K people.
Yeah,
So we're not lying. And for you to say that he didn't say that, you should have said, I didn't hear him say that.
W
You
Nutty.
see how those statements
See, we're gonna straighten this out.
those statements are two completely different statements. Because when you tell us we're lying when we're not, and then you making a statement like I didn't hear him, that's a whole nother thing.
I bet you if I ask him right now if he support Trump, he's gonna say I support Trump.
Let's see if
He
he's here.
he may.
Let's
But
see.
what he said in front of 1.4K people that's not what he said, ma'am.
Mr. Knuckle Dragger, if you're out there, come on back up here, send me a guest request, and let's get this cleared up. Because what we don't want to have is another sister going around here on TikTok spreading lies. Because honestly, we care. We care. Nutty and I, we understand that complexion sometimes is part of the problem. And if we can get you to come out of this cult today, you know what? I'll say, let bygones be bygones.
If she can come out this cult today, then we will start calling her kinfolk again.
Would you be interested in coming out of the cult this morning, Dopamine, while we're waiting for the knuckle dragger?
No, I would not. I would love to be in the cult.
And see, that's the problem. So, Miss Dopamine, may I ask you this question?
I can't.
May I ask? I hear you
Yes.
giggling, so I can't take you serious.
No, go ahead.
But what is it about Donald Trump specifically that just grinds your woman parts to make you say I got to be in this cult? What is it about Donald Trump that makes you just want to support this man?
I mean, he's a leader. He's a businessman. He's not sleepy. He knows how to have interviews, unlike Harris. That's what I like about him.
Ma'am, so do you know, Zeus, I'm sorry for taking over your live here, but this is wild to me. This is wild. He knows how to have interviews. Zeus, didn't you just play in your monologue?
I did.
Where he was talking to the cadets and he just went completely off in La La Land. Which it happens often, ma'am, but yet he know how to give interviews. Ma'am, are you serious right now?
Can you please stop, Dopamine? Could you please stop? No one's here. It's just you and me and Nutty.
I'm serious. I love Donald.
That's scary.
I am serious. I've been loving him before he was president. I'm from New York. He's from New York. I love Donald.
Just because you're from New York and he's from New York doesn't mean Jack. Well, keep it clean. Keep it clean.
I love him as the president. Yes, I do.
You know that my mom is watching this, and I gotta be very restrained. And so I would appreciate it if you wouldn't push the envelope and push the limits like that, because we're trying our best to show you as much respect. But when you say stuff like that, what has he done for sisters? That got you so, because you wouldn't even say that about brothers. And I've
That's
never
not
heard
true.
you love. No, no, no. I've been following you for a while. I've never seen you go to defend brothers like this. What has Donald Trump done for you, man? And I'm keep in mind, we got people here, multiple generations, all the way up to my grandmother, 95 years old. God bless her soul. Tell my grandmother why you love Donald Trump, because she's looking at this and listening to it and saying, never did she think we would be in this situation.
If I have to be honest, just to be
Yes, you do.
just my personal experience, mass deportation helped me a lot.
Wow.
It helped me a lot. I'm gonna be honest. I also do not agree with DEI. I do not agree with DOE. I like the crypto. I like the crypto thing that he's given us.
Oh, dopamine, I have to stop you. Do you
Go
believe in
ahead.
law and order? Do you believe in law and order?
100%.
Do you believe in the Constitution of the United States of America?
Yes, I do.
Well, good, because I don't believe in the Constitution of the United States of America. I believe in the amendments that are given in the Constitution of the United States of America, because that said document did not include people that looks like you and I and Zeus, and it didn't include your gender. But
Yes, it
yet
does.
no, it doesn't. It's the amendments that
Yes, the
gave us the rights.
amendments.
That it's
Yes,
the
of
amendments.
course.
All right. So tell me again how you love the Constitution when the very person that you are giving fellatio right now to has
Oh, you have to
already
be
has
disrespectful.
no, you are absolutely on your knees with him, because
How would you
listen,
like us to
this man
describe it?
on a daily basis, he violates his oath.
I would say the only one on their knees is you because
Oh,
you're talking about him every day. That's what I would say.
oh, where's my
Do you know
whistle?
why we talk about him every day? Because he occupies the White
That's
House.
TDS.
No, 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 no.
No. Because constitutionally, ma'am, we have the right, we have a duty to keep our elected officials in check. So that means we can talk about them. That means if we're not talking about them, we're okay with the tragedies and the travesties that they're doing to everyday American citizens.
Well, I do hope you brush your teeth before you started
What?
talking about him.
Wait a second, dopamine. Now, what do you say to all the people who think of you as a sellout? I mean, you know what that term means, and I don't even like to say that, but you get what
Oh,
I'm
I
saying.
love
Of
to say
course, of course, of
They they
course,
they, they
dude.
say, and I'm looking at the comment section, and a lot of people are wondering, like, how did this happen? What do you say to these people? Because the comment you made about immigrants, it's almost like you don't think immigrants do anything to help this country.
No, that's not what I said. They do.
So how did
They
the
just have to be
deportation help
vetted.
you? How did it help
And
you?
if anyone says I'm a sellout, I'll take it because guess what? I don't care.
No,
Oh,
dopamine. You said the deportations helped you. How?
Because I live in New York City where the Venezuela gang was pew pewing police officers and SAing little girls. So yeah, I would love to be safe. Thank you.
So SAing little girls, but
that,
yet more Americans, more natural born citizens who were born and raised here in these United States of America commits more crimes than any immigrant, legal or illegal, as y'all put it.
Does
But
that make
yet,
it right?
listen, crime is crime. When I look at
Really?
crime, I don't look at, oh, is that person legal or not? Crime is
Well,
crime.
guess what? Even if it was one person, it's still not right and it should not be here. So
so
I don't agree.
dopamine. That's cute, but let's be serious. When was the last time an immigrant did anything to you?
Never.
It's a chance that an immigrant could do something to me because they was committing a crime in my
So,
area.
the answer is not. It never happened. And what I do here is I've had the same conversation with you. A lot of the stuff y'all conjure up in your minds, it never really happens. You are all running from an imaginary boogeyman, and at the end of the day, it's costing you. And that's why I asked you, do you really think immigrants don't contribute to this great country of ours? You don't
No,
know
they
America.
definitely pay
You don't,
taxes.
huh?
They definitely pay taxes. But let me ask you a question. Am I supposed to wait until I
So
get unalive to
hold
want
on,
to say,
Zeus, can we
mass
give her
deportation?
Hold
can we
on.
give her an applause for telling the truth right
Okay,
there?
okay, we'll do that then. Okay, so we
We
gave you
do
the.
that
Okay.
because it's been forever since I heard a Trump supporter actually tell the truth. Did you hear her admit, yes, they do pay taxes, but because we're always told by her comrades that they don't contribute, that they're this.
Okay,
So,
fine. I'll give you another
dopamine,
one.
I appreciate that.
Dopamine, thank you. Now, what were you about to say though? Because there's only so much I can do as a man in the space like this. But I'm really trying, and maybe I could get some help in a split second. But please finish what you were saying, me and Nutty, because we're trying to work with you.
Well, what I'm saying is, am I supposed to wait till I get unalive to say, yeah, mass deportation, please, now? I'm unalived.
But you know what? Let me see. Hold on.
So I would
This is
like to
this
answer.
this is this might help us out, Nutty, because
Okay.
because what we're trying to do, dopamine, is hands-on work. How you doing, Straight Facts?
I'm doing just fine. How y'all doing this morning?
All right, I have dopamine, sister dopamine. She still is allowed. She says I can call her sister, so she's not offended by that. But she's having a hard time coming to the light. Is there anything you could possibly contribute to help her out, my good friend Straight Facts?
Yeah,
My sister.
dopamine. You had made a comment a little while ago, and you said it just wasn't right. You're against things that are just not right and against the law, right?
Yes, restore law and order.
Yeah. So you vote for the party of law and order, right?
Correct.
Okay. So tell me why the person that you are voting for and you're supporting law and order is actively ignoring the Supreme Court.
How is he ignoring the Supreme Court?
Well, that the Supreme Court told him that he couldn't just put people out of this country without due process.
Can you prove that he didn't get expedited due process? You don't need to see an immigration judge.
No, I can prove it because he didn't get the you do you get due process every time you commit a crime?
He didn't commit a crime.
Okay. Do you get due
He is
process? You let
supposed
you
to.
guys tell it his crime was being an illegal
Whoa!
Hold on. No. Are you talking about Garcia?
I'm talking about anyone.
Okay,
Period.
so let's talk about Garcia. First of all, in 2019, his asylum claim was
Do
denied.
you only get to do due process every time you go to court, or do you get due
Hold on.
process every
Let me.
time? Do you
Yeah,
only
hold
get due
on. One
process
second.
sometimes when you want it,
No,
or
let
is
me
it
answer the
afforded
question.
to everyone?
Let me answer the question. So in 2019, his asylum claim was denied. They gave him a protective order to not get deported to El Salvador, but to still get deported, right? First of all, he already had due process. And can you prove to me
Uh,
that he did not have expedited due process, because you do not need to
well,
see a
what,
judge for
dopamine,
expedited due
dopamine. Let's
process?
just be honest. It was not. He cannot be removed. The deportation part is the issue. Because if you deport a person, you just send them back to the country. You don't send them into a concentration camp. This is the issue, or part of the issue. So it's the due process, and you didn't just deport. You basically sent them to be unalive, a death sentence.
Okay, so you say that he violated prisoner's Eighth Amendment right.
How many times do you deserve due process?
Okay, hold on. Let me finish. Okay, so if y'all want to say that, then
There's nowhere to run.
we do that every single day for our black men that's here. They live in inhumane conditions. Their Eighth Amendment right is violated every single day. I would love to see you guys preach about that. That one.
Is that a pivot?
No,
Because
it's not. It's
you
definitely
almost
not.
broke your ankle just
It's
now.
definitely not a
You
pivot.
almost broke your ankle.
It's
So
it's
let's get
definitely not
back.
a
Let's go
pivot.
back
We
to
can
what
we
we were
can go
just
back.
talking about.
Go
Let's
ahead.
go back to what we were just talking about, dopamine.
Go
Do
ahead.
you does everyone deserve due process in this country?
Correct. Everybody
Yes,
that
they
comes
do.
here, even if they are illegal, according to the Constitution, they do get due process.
Well, can
Like
we
I
use
said,
terms like undocumented? Because when
yes,
you use
undocumented, illegal, whatever,
no,
they
oh
do get due
gosh,
process. But
Okay.
I do want to say, can you prove to me that he did not get expedited due process, which you do
You can
not have
get
to
Yes,
see an
yes,
immigration judge?
yes, dopamine. We can because the United States Supreme Court, in all of its conservatism, said told Donald Trump not first of all told them not to deport the man. Then they said, oh, it was an administrative error. Then the Supreme Court told Donald Trump to facilitate and effectuate the return of Mr. Garcia.
Can I ask you a question?
Well, hold on, please. Hold on. Furthermore, ma'am, due process is not a one-time deal. Due process is every time, anytime, all the time. It's not a one-time deal.
I
You
never
got
said
due
that.
process in 2018, so therefore you don't get it in 2025. That's not how it works, ma'am. You know this.
I never said that.
But
I
but
said, can
you're
you prove to me
referring
that he
to it.
did not?
You're saying
No,
when
no,
did can
no.
you
Hold
prove?
on. Let me respond. I said, can you prove to me that he did not get expedited due process?
And I said
Also,
yes, and that proof was
also, can you answer this? Can Congress force a president to force another president to bring their citizen back to the United States?
Yes.
yes.
No, they cannot.
You
Yes, they
just all
can.
said
The Supreme
yes.
Court.
No,
So
they cannot.
dopamine. We all said
You don't
yes.
know.
The numbers
They
are in
do
our
not go by
favor.
our Constitution, Zeus.
You don't understand how the government works, and that's the reason why Trump loves you, because you're uneducated about the government. The Supreme Court
More
interprets
insults.
law.
Great.
That's not an insult,
I didn't
ma'am.
cut you off at all.
That's not an insult.
Are you getting triggered?
No.
Okay. Well, then shut up.
Ooh. Okay.
All right.
Dopamine.
So
You know how you do us when I was in your live. I was getting
Zeus, I
muted,
do not. Zeus, I give you the most respect and don't talk to you like that. So
but
I
you were
got
hitting the
for
mute
me to get
button.
on my knees. I got for me to shut up, and
Oh
I
well,
cannot
we don't need you to do
insult the
that.
guest.
We don't need you to
Not
do
once.
that, but that's just our way of showing love over here. We gotta, because we're dealing with some strong forces. But I'm just saying, when I go over there, you were hitting that mute button on just every time I said something. Mute every time. Mute, mute. I mean, but I didn't take it
Ashley rubbed
personal.
her nose.
My,
Ashley
my
rubbed her
headphones
nose and
wasn't
played with
working,
her
Zeus.
hair and didn't let me up on the panel while I sat in that box for a
Oh.
long period of time. So dopamine. I'm glad that I'm able to have this discussion with you today. So once again, dopamine, how do you not understand that he does not have the right to not follow what the Supreme Court's rulings are? When they hand down an opinion, it's not really an opinion. It is them deciphering what the law is. You do not have the ability. You cannot follow the law when you like it and not when you do not like it. That's not how this works.
Okay,
It is
so
a directive.
he is
Straight fact.
100% following what the Supreme Court
No,
said.
he's not
He's
100%
not,
following.
ma'am.
No, he's
Let
not.
me. Can I respond or
Yes,
No,
please.
because you're lying. You're lying.
Well-
Don't lie, though. Don't lie.
Okay, so hold
Please
on.
let her
me-
respond. Let her
me
respond. I want to catch the lie. If she's lying, we're gonna definitely stop it.
Sure.
First of all, he's 100% following. We all know what facilitate means. It means to make easier. And we saw on TV that he asked that president to bring him back, and the president said, no, I am not smuggling my own citizen back into the United States. So, like I said, he does not go by the United States Constitution. That president.
Okay. All right, so let's ask the chat
He
because
doesn't
I don't
have to
agree with you.
follow
I don't agree with you, Nutty. Do you agree with dopamine? Because this is how this works. Do you agree?
Absolutely not. Because here's the thing. Before he got deported, the conservative Supreme Court told this administration not to deport the man.
Okay, straight facts. Do you agree with dopamine? What she just said?
That's not true.
No. Chat. Does anyone in the chat?
is
Do we agree
true.
with dopamine in the chat? Because dopamine. This is how this process works. Look at all the no's in there? Dopamine. Look at that. Dopamine.
So yet again, Zeus,
So-
dopamine
This isn't
saying
Zeus
something
live.
isn't
Of
true.
course, they're not going to agree.
She's saying something isn't true when constantly we're telling her that they deported the man against the Supreme Court's directive.
First of all, he was supposed to get deported already. What he
No,
wasn't
he was not
supposed to get
supposed to
deported
get-
was back
if
to
he was
El
supposed to get
Salvador.
deported,
He
he
all
was
these
not. I
no's.
agree with that part. He was not supposed to get deported back to El Salvador, but to somewhere else.
And was he using
And I
the
can
alien?
prove that.
Was he using the Alien Enemies Act to do some of this stuff? Dopamine.
To deport some people, yes.
And what did they say about him using that? Was that legal or not?
Yes, he could use it.
No, dopamine. This is what I'm saying. They've already ruled
Right,
that
because
they've already ruled
alien enemies.
dopamine. So, okay, listen. You're outnumbered. You don't have the votes to go along with this lie. If you continue to go down this path with these lies, we have no other choice but to judge you on the fact that you don't really care about the truth. You just care about
doesn't.
smelling that dirty diaper. And this is
So Zeus, can you put that? Can you put the Supreme Court ruling on a screen? Can someone put the Supreme Court ruling on a screen? Because I have proof.
well, be careful what you ask for, because I have somebody that is really good at the screenshots. The thing is, I don't like doing all that screenshot stuff. But if we need to have this, and then if we get this up here, Dopamine, would you be willing to apologize to everybody in here, because you've been wasting people's time? Hi, Attacking.
I have not.
You've been lying, and when you lie, you're wasting time, because we want to get to the truth. Good morning, Attacking. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Well, the first thing is this: the young lady.
Damn, y'all gotta have 4 against 1.
Didn't read the entire court transcript in regards to citing an immigration judge. They always seem to forget the last immigration judge in October 2019 who lifted or who put a withholding order on the removal of Mr. Garcia. Okay, excuse me, it's my turn to talk, young lady. Thank you very much. Secondly, a due process is not spread like butter from 2019 to 2025.
Got it.
It's individual cases that are sitting in front of you, first off. So you didn't read the last immigration judge. Now the thing is this: Donald Trump. Excuse me, young lady. I am talking. Thank you very much. Be polite.
Woo!
Donald Trump, just like any negotiations on hostages from other countries, like with Russia, whatever else, all Donald Trump's got to do is say, El Salvadorian president, I'm paying you $6 million to store these people. I need this guy back. See, Donald Trump did not ask excuse me, young lady, again, I am talking.
Lord have mercy.
Polite. So Donald Trump did not ask him in the Oval Office, would you give him back? He didn't ask him. But if Donald Trump was to say, hey, look, I need you to give me this guy back. I'm paying you to hold my people. Give this guy back. He could. Donald Trump's own team admitted that they messed up by removing somebody. So when you quote things that you're not reading fully, you're being disingenuous, not only to Zeus and Nutty and Straight Facts, you're not doing things properly because you're not withholding your own ethics and morals by being honest. So when you talk about something, can you at least put forth the information and read it fully before you quote it, because this way here, there would be no disagreements.
W Attacking, and let me address something in the audience, because I heard...
Right now,
Can I just say this real quickly, and then you can? For people up here saying this is a 4v1, you let Donald Trump do the number to Zelensky, and you all said that was okay. You know, when Donald Trump ganged up on Zelensky, and then what he did to that black South African president, that was a gang up too. So you all created the gang up, and this is really not a gang up, because these people are being really, really nice. I've seen these people in their other lives. They're not nice like they're nice here. This is an all hands on deck to straighten out a demonic force we got. All right, and we're gonna try to be as civilized and respectful as possible. All right, thank you, Dopamine. I appreciate that. All right, now what were you saying?
First of all, you're repeating things that I said. I literally said, I asked her, did he not, or did he get expedited due process? You do not have to see a judge for that, right?
Excuse me, that does not apply.
Hold on, let her finish. Let her finish attacking. You gotta let her finish.
I never said due process was one time. That's where you're lying, right? And I can put up the Supreme Court order where it said he is not supposed to get deported to El Salvador, but he can still get deported with no problem. I can prove it to you.
And I have the court case on my page with my PDF reader reading exactly that. And now the thing is this: Donald Trump lied about Mr. Garcia being part of MS-13 with a doctored photograph. Mr. Garcia has gone to every meeting in regards to the immigration follow-ups. It's all documented. He has never committed a crime in the United States. He never committed a crime in El Salvador. And Donald Trump lied about the tattoos on his hands. And Donald Trump tried to even push it again when he had an interview with one of the reporters on TV saying, these are real, these are real. So Donald Trump, out of all the people that he has deported, is only putting his thumb on the scale of this one because they messed up so vastly. They could bring him back. You know they could bring him back. Okay? Now, the thing is this. The family was being harassed by that other group, and he did get the withholding order removed by the last and third immigration judge not to be deported.
Okay, so now we got that straightened out. W attacking dopamine. I see you got a document, and what we'll do, and then we'll go back to the other issues. But I want to see if she actually has any evidence to support these lies she's been bringing to it. Oh, let me look at this.
Okay, you can hear me good. In 2019, Mr. Garcia won an order from an immigration judge granting him a form of relief called withholding of removal, which prohibits defendants from being removed to El Salvador, which I said. The defendants wish to remove Mr. Garcia to El Salvador. The law sets forth specific procedures by which they can reopen the case and seek to set aside a grant of withholding of removal. Should defendants wish to remove Mr. Garcia to any other country, they should have no legal impediment in doing so. Do you understand what that means?
Yeah.
So
what does that mean? What does that mean to you?
What does it mean?
So
That
it seems like
get deported, but not to El Salvador.
it seems and it also requires the due process part. Yes, Nutty. Thank you for confirming the due process. Thank you for confirming due process was the issue here.
Zeus, I
literally said that he got expedited process.
And did it say that you can put him in another country's prison?
Oh my goodness!
See what I'm saying? W Zeus, W the chat, W. We cooked her.
Understanding of how the government all works. And that's why you're up here looking silly like you are, because you just proved.
OG, let me finish.
Let her finish, and then you'll finish.
Right. It requires due process, and they didn't deport him at that time. And just because they said that in 2019 doesn't mean that just obstructs his ability from getting due process now. Dopamine. You don't understand what you just read, sweetheart?
I 100% understand what I just read.
You can't.
And first
There's
of all,
no way you can understand.
First of all, OG, like I said, prove to me that he did not get expedited due process. You do not have to see an immigration judge for that. So prove that to me.
That's not what the Supreme Court said.
The only error here was sending him to El Salvador. That's the only error.
You have a law license, Dopamine? Are you a lawyer?
Hey, Zeus.
If he did something wrong and he didn't follow the Constitution, can you tell me why we have a bill to impeach Judge Boasberg and not Donald Trump?
So,
Lord,
can anybody bring impeachment articles of impeachment? Does that necessarily?
I just want to know.
Does that prove your point? It does not.
I just want to know. But you didn't answer my question. You keep calling me names.
Dopamine.
Can you prove to me that he didn't get expedited due process?
Okay, dopamine. What is expedited? What he didn't get? What?
Expedited due process.
If he would have gotten it, this wouldn't even be an issue.
That's not true. That's not true. They're asking for him to come back.
Why are you trying to impose this expedited due process from 2019 to 2025?
I never said that he needed one due process. That's it. Like, what are you talking about?
Okay, so the thing is this: did he get due process in 2025? Yes or no?
Yes, he got expedited due process.
No, he did not get expedited due process.
Yes, he did.
If he did, then
I had to strike you.
Why did the Supreme Court tell Donald Trump to get his butt back here in the United States? Why? Tell me that, Dopamine.
Because he was not supposed to get deported to El Salvador, so they asked him to come.
Wait. I gotta stop you. You can't say he got deported to El Salvador when he was put into a concentration camp, ma'am. We gotta call it what it is. You deport me, you give me the $1,000, I go home and the party continues. What we have going on right now is some inhumane stuff.
Hey, Nutty.
Okay, so what about the case Brown
hold on,
what Kamala Harris didn't care about prisoners' Eighth Amendment rights?
Young lady, hold on for a second.
We were trying to help you.
Nutty.
Hold on, attacking, yes.
Nutty.
Yes, Nutty. Yes.
To get expedited due process, don't you have to go to court to get that?
No.
Excuse me. I'm
He was
talking
asking
to
Nutty.
Immigration judge.
He was talking to Nutty.
You absolutely do.
Okay, and then
That is a lie.
Excuse me, a young
Dopamine.
lady, have some politeness.
Zeus, even Erica
Have some
Shante said she agreed
politeness.
with me.
Have some
No, you're
politeness.
lying.
Have some politeness. See, you
Erica
can't have,
Shante
you
did?
cannot have
Yes.
you cannot
Where's
have
Erica at?
expedited due process without, you just said, an immigration judge. So did he see an immigration judge in 2025?
Oh my goodness! You do not need to see an
But
immigration
you
judge
made the comment
for
just
expedited
now.
due process. Please go do your research, bro.
Here, I got this. Hey, Zeus, hold on for a second. Can I read this? Hold on.
You sure can. And
Hold
welcome,
on.
Jim.
Have a
Sorry to
listen.
bring you into this.
Have a listen.
The immigration
Oh no,
judge
now
ordered withholding
y'all
of
don't got
removal
all these
on
people
October
against
10th,
me.
2019. Essay 014. The judge found Abrego Garcia credible, observing that his testimony was internally consistent,
Not AI.
externally consistent with
God.
the substantial documentation, and appeared free of embellishment. Essay 005. The judge further found that there was a clear probability of future persecution if Abrego Garcia returned to El Salvador. Say 008. The judge therefore ordered that Abrego Garcia had the right not to be deported to El Salvador under 8 U.S.C. SS 1231. SA 06, SA 014.
Just send me to hell.
Appealed that order, so it became final.
Hold on.
SA 147. Since 2019, Abrego Garcia has lived with his family in Maryland, working full-time as a union sheet metal worker and dutifully appearing for annual check-ins with immigration authorities.
Okay, now the thing is this, young lady, you should learn what a PDF reader, that was a PDF reader, it wasn't AI basically, but it's reading the court transcript that you happen to show, and I have the 198 pages up here on my computer. So for you to say that he got expedited due process, was that in 2019 or 2025? Because due process is applied to each individual case that you were sitting in front of, that is sitting in front of you. So it doesn't get applied like butter or peanut butter from 2019 to 2025. And he did not go to court in 2025 to receive due process in regards to being removed illegally by Trump's team, picking him up, lying about his status change, which is in the court documents, that they admitted that they messed up, and you're trying to defend that right now.
She
Zeus,
she has
before
no
Jim-
defense. She has no
Before
defense.
Jim goes, because Jim is about to boil that water and cook. All right?
Yeah, we know what's coming. We know what's coming.
Very quickly, dopamine. All expedited due process is that it's just a hearing, and it moves faster than the traditional due process, ma'am. But while expedited, it still involves an impartial hearing, ma'am.
There you go.
It
And that's what
involves
this.
a hearing.
There you go. There you go. So
Like, I
W
don't
attacking.
understand why you're saying stuff on expedited due process. It involves going in front of a judge, ma'am. It just means it's faster. It's expedited. And Jim, I got the grease ready. It's ready to put the fish in. Go, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, I'm not going to try and do anything dopamine. I've just been sitting here for the last hour, and I have never heard so many wrong things consecutively in my entire life. First of all, it is not the 8th Amendment. It's the 5th Amendment that gives you due process. So start there when you educate yourself. And
5th
go
and
read it.
14th Amendment. The 8th
No, ma'am.
Amendment
No,
is
ma'am.
no.
No,
I
ma'am.
never
No,
said
ma'am.
that.
Do not talk over
I never
me,
said
ma'am.
that.
You
The
don't,
5th
you don't
and
want
14th
this. You
requires
don't want
due
this.
process.
No,
Stop
ma'am.
it.
You don't want this.
It's state and federal. I never
Dopamine.
said that, so don't lie.
I'm trying to help you,
I never
Dopamine.
said that, so don't lie. Don't lie on my name. I never said that.
Dopamine. Dopamine.
Understand what I was saying.
Dopamine. Let her
Understand
finish.
what I was saying. Don't lie on my name.
You're gonna get your chance.
To teach you manners, and I'm
Don't
going to
lie
do
on my
that
name,
today. You're going to learn today.
Let her go, Dopamine. I mean, you're gonna
Okay,
get your
first of all,
chance,
I'm
and we
just
don't need to go
correcting
there.
The law, and
Come
you
on.
can't handle it because you have a script in front of you that's giving you so much bad information that you literally
Okay,
are
if you
proving
can't
to everybody
give
on
respect,
this panel
you
and
could
in
just
the
send me to hell
comments
right
that
now,
you are
Zeus.
just dumb.
Just send me to hell.
So stop.
Okay, I'll send you to hell, dopamine. Just hold on 1 second, but
Okay,
just stay right there, dopamine. I got you.
First of all, that was the first thing. It's the
I got
fifth,
you,
not the eighth. And the eighth talks about the things that affect American citizens in this country that harm, which is like bail and fine and cruelty. That's the Eighth Amendment. Just go do yourself a favor and research it. Mute her. Mute her.
Dopamine, you're gonna get a chance to bounce back. Well, I don't know if you can bounce back, but if you listen to what she is saying, let's go ahead and keep the energy going. No one else is gonna jump in. It's just you and Jim. And if she says things that you don't agree with, just like she calmly allowed you to get those lies out and then is going through them point by point, you should be able to demonstrate you can do the same. Please continue, Jim.
Next, for everybody in here, I want you to start listening to their language. They always drop off words that are important to be part of the language. It's not called protective status. It's called legal protective status. That is the law. It is called legal protective status that is given to them in a hearing for temporary status, because it goes temporary until they get the final findings. So she can read you whatever she wants at the beginning of an order. It's the findings that matter at the end of the order. That is the law. Let me make that clear again. Legal protective status. Mute her. I will not do that. Next, if you don't comprehend the law, you should not be speaking of the law, because the law impacts every single American citizen and any persons on U.S. soil per the Constitution. If you can put me on the big screen real quick.
Absolutely. Let's get it going, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting a lot of information out right now. Let's go.
So finally, there is no such thing as expedited due process. It's not a thing. Due process is due process, meaning that they have to follow the law and provide any persons that are going before a judge due process. It's a legal hearing. What she's talking about is expedited removal is a process that allows the U.S. and Customs Border Patrol and Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials to quickly deport non-citizens, often without a full hearing before immigration judge. Oh, before an immigration judge. Let that sink in. There is a judge present. But here's the thing. That happens when they're caught entering the country, not after they've resided here for 14 years and already have seen judges that gave them a protected status. Oh, wait, let me say that correctly. Legal protected status. Okay, finally, while expedited removal processes have been criticized for potentially violating due process rights, they do offer some limited proceedings to non-citizens when they are caught. So when they're caught, and they haven't presented themselves to Border Patrol, they are then sent right back. That's the expedited removal process, ma'am. If you don't understand that, you are part of the problem. And what they're counting on is that women like you will literally sit there and hold their jock while they harm people. That's what they're counting on. They're counting on your ignorance. They're counting on your inability to comprehend the law. And this is the problem. It's so inhumane. The things that you guys are doing right now in this country to support this man who is literally a convicted felon, who is literally an adjudicated SAer in this country, who literally in front of the entire West Point graduating team talked about trophy wives yesterday, because the man has nothing in his skull other than his own lust and greed for power. So while the greediest of the nation steal from the neediest of the nation, you sit there stroking them every single second of the day. You might as well tie your hair back, ma'am.
Expand me, Zeus.
Ooh, W, Jim, W. Jim that man. No, you want me to do what? Expand you?
Yeah, expand me.
Well, okay. Maybe you should use something a little cleaner though than saying that, because that, you know.
No, what does this say? No, an expedited removal process does not typically require a hearing.
That's great. Again, when you listen to respond,
let me be quiet.
Hold on, one at a time. One at a time. One at a time.
You don't like it when someone talks over you? It's kind of rude, isn't it? Yeah. See,
please be quiet.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you're an old woman.
I'm not the one. I'm gonna give exactly as I get. It's really
annoying when people talk over you, isn't it? Lord
You're an
have
old
mercy.
woman misbehaving. Please be quiet. Thank
Okay, one at a time, all right? Because there's only so far I can go as a gentleman, all right? But dopamine, you're trying to say that you said expedited. I think you said expedited due process, and that's where Jim pushed back and said we're
She
not. There's
did.
no
Oh my
such thing.
goodness. First of all, she lied and said I said Eighth
Did.
Amendment
She
is due
did.
process.
There's no such thing.
If you know me, if you know me, you
Did.
hear in my
She
lives all the
did. There's
time.
no such thing.
Let me talk.
That
Let me
is
talk.
when people
Only one that
talk
came
over
here
you.
upset is you.
Show
You ruining
respect,
shit.
you get respect.
What's wrong
Show
with you?
respect, you get respect.
Yeah, but I bet you won't say that shit in my face.
All right. Oh Lord, have mercy. All right. Let's get back to let's stick to policy. Let's stick to hold on. Let's get to.
You don't mind if I go off teleprompter for a second, do you?
Yeah, let's not go off teleprompter. Let's not go off teleprompter. I get it. We're all very, very passionate, but dopamine at a certain point, where did dopamine go?
She bounced. Yeah. Hey, I just want to let you know, I didn't want to do this. I tried to come up politely, but here's the thing. This is dangerous. Women like that are dangerous, and they're dangerous for two reasons. The things she's doing are not going to harm just immigrants. So all of you supporting women like dopamine or people who are supporting the Trump administration, they're not harming the other people. They're harming the U.S. Constitution and American citizens. It is time for every single American to stand up and fight against the misinformation and disinformation in these lives. Stop being afraid. Find your voices. Let the law prove them wrong. Don't sit back and allow them to spew misinformation, disinformation in these lives and not stand and come correct. These people are dangerous to the U.S. Constitution, and every single United States citizen is going to be impacted by the misinformation and disinformation she just spewed, especially people of color, especially Black men and women, especially brown people. So every single time a woman like that comes into your life, you need to mop the floor with her.
Oh, wow. Let's go. Yeah. And then we'll get to judgment because, she can't escape it. She came in here. But yes, please, straight facts.
So I have the court order up from the Supreme Court. It's the Supreme Court of the United States. It's dated April 10th, 2025. We all know what happened. We all know how they said that he was an MS-13 gang member. And so I'm not going to go over that. The biggest part is what I want to read is the last part. It says, nevertheless, I agree with the court's order that the proper remedy is to provide Allegro Garcia with all the processes to which he would have been entitled had he not been unlawfully removed to El Salvador. That means the government must comply with its obligation to provide Allegro Garcia with due process of the law, including notice and opportunity to be heard in any future proceedings. Reno versus Flores. It must also comply with its obligation under the Convention Against Torture. See Convention Against Torture and Other Cruel and Inhumane or Degrading Treatment of Punishment, December 10th, 1984 treaty. Federal law government detention and removal of immigrants continues, of course, to be binding as well. Warning, warrant before a non-citizen may be arrested and detained pending a decision. Okay, so let me read the rest of it. It says, release the government must provide adequate notice and promptly arrange any initial informal interview to afford the alien an opportunity to respond to the reasons for the revocation stated in the notification. Moreover, it has been government's own well-established policy to facilitate aliens return to the United States if the alien's presence is necessary for continued administrative removal proceedings in cases where a non-citizen has been removed pending immigration proceedings. The U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement Directive facilitating the return to the United States of the certain lawful removal aliens. In the proceedings on remand, the district court should continue to ensure that the government lives up to its obligations to follow the law.
W straight facts. I mean, it's case closed. Dopamine, unfortunately, you took the L this morning. It's Memorial Day. And, she kept saying something that was, to me, it was obvious she knew she was done. She kept saying, Zeus, send me to the lake of fire. She said, actually, Zeus, send me to hell. So to the
She
first,
did say that.
yeah. So to the first guest that asked me, who am I to do that? Well, you need to ask your colleague, Dopamine. She'll tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, let's warm up the lake of fire. And Dopamine, listen, you seem like a beautiful person, honestly, but when you get up here and you do what Jim said and what Nutty and them say, it's dangerous. And the maggot demon has truly controlled you. And so what we're going to do is this, Dopamine. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and wish Dopamine farewell and send her where she belongs, straight to hell. Well, hold on.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
W to the panelists. Yes.
Another thing is this. This is the only person that has been removed that Donald Trump has put his thumb on the scale for, because they know this is the one that they majorly messed up on.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it wasn't so important of a mess up, they wouldn't be talking about it. Then she made a comment about, look, they're trying to impeach the Judge Bozeman.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Because the judge is doing his job, making sure an illegal activity is not being allowed to take place. They attack the judges every time they go against Trump. Like from the beginning of Judge Curiel holding Trump's accountable for the fake university, down to Bozeman and everybody in between. They attack the judges for going against Trump and making him stand for his criminal activity that he has done. But why is this case so important? Because they know they messed up. This is the only person out of the hundreds they removed that there's any comment made by Trump and his administration.
Bingo.
No one else.
Bingo. And they know this. What's happening is she's in the audience now, and she says you all are lying, and she's laughing.
Can't spell it though. Spelled Lying. So if you learn nothing else today, at least I taught you how to spell. Hey, bottom line, this is the thing that really triggered me for her, because this is the dangerous thing. She talked about in New York how immigration and the deportations were helping her. How scary is that? That somebody would celebrate in harming other human beings, that literally the state of Texas got to keep all the money that was sent to help with migration. They kept that money while sending those migrants to New York. So first of all, that was a lie. Second of all, when she talked about the G members unaliving officers, that was a lie. That was a lie. Every single thing that came out of her mouth was a lie. And any one of the 2,000 people in here could go research that for themselves. There hasn't been one case. Finally, there are over 33,000 active gangs in the United States. Let me repeat that. There are 33,000 active gangs in the United States of America. Why do you think they're only focusing on certain gangs? Go do yourself a favor and try to learn why gangs first exist. Secondly, find out which ones are actually committing the crimes. And I assure you, it's not Trindelawaga. It's not. It's not MS-13. Those aren't the ones causing the problems in the United States. It's the white supremacy groups. If no one else is going to say it, let me say it. It is the white supremacy groups that literally our Congress has stated are the most dangerous violators of harm to the people of the United States of America. And they have their hands in everything from the prison institutions to the streets that are harming people. When young men and women are going missing, it's not Trindelawaga that's doing it. It's not MS-13 that's doing it. Those types of gangs form for protection in community and territory because they're being harmed right here in the United States. So until you comprehend why gangs are even created and what they're about, Do they commit crimes? Yes. Nobody's saying it's okay. Nobody's saying let's protect gang members. As somebody whose brother was actually unalived by gang members, let me tell you this. I've lived this life. I've walked this life. I've spent 24 years in law enforcement. So please, miss me with your BS when you try to come up here and talk to people about any type of harm coming to people. Because I assure you, Dopamine, it's not going to be the Trump administration or any of those old white men that come to help you when you're harmed by anybody, because the perpetrator more than likely will be a white male.
W. Jim. It's always wow. Well, listen up, ladies and gentlemen. This has been an annihilation of a strong MAGA demon on this app, and I don't really think that they have any more room to talk going forward.
So before I get out of here,
instead of Dopamine, I think that will probably be a better name for her. Just go ahead and reduce your name down to Dopamine, because that's exactly what you are. Is a straight dope.
Wow, watch the wordplay. That was straight facts right there. So anyway, back to what Jim was saying about, the white supremacy group. So over the weekend on Saturday here in Kansas City, we had over 100 Patriot Front members march down the streets in Kansas City. And I was laughing, Zeus, because again, they used the same U-Haul trucks to bring them in.
So when we talk about what they did on January 6th, yeah. Every time I see a U-Haul truck, I get trigger warning. It's very traumatizing to see U-Haul trucks.
So now I'm starting to wonder now, should we just stop renting U-Hauls now, because we're going to be just known as a white supremacist, because obviously U-Haul doesn't care that their product is being used for this type of activity. So when they were here in Kansas City marching down the city here in Kansas City, and a couple of them got dealt with because they took the wrong turn, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So they got what they deserved. So, but yeah, thank you for letting me up. And Dopamine, you got to do better.
I told you. Why can't they ever spell Asler? Leader is not spelled Lider, dear.
Hey, Nutty.
Wow.
Nutty.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I have a new name for U-Haul.
What's that?
KKK carry-all.
Oh, W attacking. Well, listen,
Before I say goodnight, I just want to say goodnight to you guys. I
good night.
Say this.
Did you say good night?
Good night
Yeah,
or good morning?
first of all, thank every single one of the people who have served this nation with integrity and honor. And if there's somebody in your family who you've lost who served this country with integrity and honor, please do yourself a favor. Share their life. Share their life with everybody on TikTok, Facebook, wherever. Don't let them leave this world in vain when they dedicated and gave the ultimate sacrifice. Secondly, when she was up here, you guys didn't catch it because she was running her lips so fast that she forgot to show some respect. I didn't call her a single name. But here's the thing. She made sure to bring up my age. She called me an old woman. So let me tell you something. I respect the people that went before me, because those ancestors, those people set the path that gave us civil rights, human rights, women's rights, educational rights, and the belief in science and math that let us live longer today, because they went before us to teach us. So you can talk about my age, all of 53 years I am, and you can show disrespect to me, but the one who made a fool of themselves today was the fetus that had the audacity to show up before she had any of her neurotransmitters firing information properly. You're dismissed.
Wow, does anyone feel bad about destroying that MAGA demon before we wrap it up? Does anyone up here feel bad about what we did? Because it was...
Can I have the Warner?
Does anyone in the chat feel bad? Because, I'm open for feedback. I'm really open for feedback.
Here, I just want to say this. This is Mr. Garcia's check-in list when he, for every time he had to go check with the immigration department to do the follow-ups to make sure that he maintained his privilege to stay in America, granted by the last immigration judge. It seems that you guys don't follow up on. So They lied about him. His immigration status didn't change. His status didn't change. He was following the rules and regulations. He went to every gosh darn meeting.
There you go, W attacking. Now, before we get up out of here, Erica Shante, I had to bring you up here because, well, number one, I didn't know you were available. But she said something about what you and her discussed. Was there any truth? Did you hear that part?
Literally, I'm on the West Coast. I literally just got up.
Oh, well, dopamine got up into the box, started lying, and then she actually said you supported her in some of these lies. I don't know exactly which lie it was.
She tried to say that you supported her in expedited due process, which is not a thing. It's expedited removal by Border Patrol. So I do know Erica will come correct because she is like that. She will bring the truth and the facts about the actual conversation.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Jim, because you got better memory than me. There were so many lies. So do you know anything about that, Erica? If not, then what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and say dopamine is definitely one of the nastiest macademons.
No, I do know what she's talking about. I agreed with her one time on Dame's panel that expedited removal does exist. Not that, not that Kilmar Rodrigo Garcia qualified for expedited removal, nor that was taken out of the equation. So that's what was agreed upon.
Okay, well, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, W. Erica. Because, see, she straightened out that demonic stuff we were here and just, oh, my gosh.
Erica, because she did. She invoked your name.
Oh, God.
And ain't that something? They like to try to bring up another one person, another brother or sister of color to try to implicate what they saying and make it seem like it's better. It's on the up and up. But we just totally annihilated that dopamine. Please don't do that again.
Even Erica agrees with me.
Yeah, that's what.
Don't agree with you at all.
Thank you. So we straightened out a lot of things and we've connected a lot of dots this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give this awesome and amazing panel a huge, huge round of applause. Show them some love. Because they don't have to do this. We wake up every morning to get it out the mud, so to speak, and we confront MAGA and we leave them dead in their tracks. And basically today, it's another victory day. And again, to your point, happy Memorial Day to all the men and women in uniform who've served this country and those who have, passed away as well. Your service is truly, truly appreciated. Huh?
My husband said thank you.
Oh, tell him I said thank you too. Closing remarks, ladies and gentlemen, and then we'll wrap it up because I got to get up out of here. Oh my gosh. We'll start with you, Antifa. I think we kind of did it, but let's just go ahead and do it. We got a little bit of time.
So yeah, I agree with Jim. Every time we hear this nonsense, we have to call it out because as long as we stay silent and keep shaking our head saying, no, that's wrong, and not using our voices to scream to the top of our lungs, they're going to keep saying it. They're going to keep spewing it. They're going to go around these TikTok streets and they're going to keep spreading mis and disinformation. So, Jim, thank you for that reminder, even though I do it all the time and keep getting banned. But it's all good. But, Zeus, thank you so much,
You're welcome.
Sir.
You're welcome. No problem.
I will go ahead and end it right there.
All right, W Nutty. Straight facts.
I agree with Nutty. They lied about Christopher Columbus when he came over here and found people, said he didn't find anybody, but yet he had a Thanksgiving thanking the people that helped him. They lied about the Confederate War, the Civil War, and the Confederacy, saying it was states' rights. They lied about the 2020 election, and now they're lying about everything else. They lie because they can get away with it, but we can read now. We've got to make sure that we refute these lies as loud as possible, because if we do not, we'll have our children swimming in this swamp of crooked con artists that are trying to take your money at every angle. This is not America. This is not patriotism. This is Donald Trump and Elon Musk saw that they had a big old lick. And if y'all don't know what a lick is, that's called a robbery. And, street language. They found the lick and they're licking it up. And it's you, the American people.
All right. W, straight facts. Attacking.
Yeah. Everybody's got to stop hating people who aren't like you, especially you Trump supporters. Quit hating others just because they're not like you and you're not like them. Quit hating people. Also, the thing is this. Zeus.
Yeah.
Antifa. Straight Facts. Jem. Myself. We have provided you more information than Donald Trump and the Republican Party has ever done since 2015. We have provided you with real information, and you seem to ignore it. You only need to listen to Donald Trump and believe everything he says without any verifiable information. He says it, you believe it, and that's it. Stop, because you're allowing Donald Trump to not only hurt yourself, but your fellow American. You may not feel it right now, but it's going to come around. It's going to slap you in the face, and it's going to slap you hard, and you're going to go, oh, I didn't think that was going to happen. But it's happening. This Doge and Trump, they've never provided you 1 ounce of information of anything they found. They say they found something, but they've never proven it. Social Security people, 20 million people receiving Social Security checks, they haven't shown anybody. They haven't shown USAID committed fraud. They haven't shown you anything from A to Z.
Nope.
So, if you're going to believe stuff, should you not have the proof and information in front of you so you can digest it and then say, you know what? They're telling the truth, but you don't have anything. From the 2020 election, like Straight Facts was saying, to now, you have nothing. We have provided you more information every time we talk, and you guys say we're the ones lying and we're woke. Well, you know what? I'd rather be woke than sleepy because you're not paying attention to anything that's going on.
There you go.
I want everybody to be safe. Erica, nice hearing you. I don't know you, but, everybody be good.
Fair enough.
I did look at you. Very beautiful woman, by the way.
Oh, W attacking. You clean. Smooth move, player. Smooth. Yes, it did.
Santana, don't do that to me.
Jim.
Well, like my profile picture says, and I've been saying for years, that if they can make you believe absurdities, they can make you commit atrocities. And you listened and heard the absurdities today on this panel by one person. And that is why it takes all of us collectively to fight against even one person spreading misinformation. The other thing I want to remind people is it's not what's before us, the future, and it's not what's behind us, the past. It's what's within us today. If we allow hate, fear, and bigotry and misogyny to rule our world, we will continue down this path of causing harm to the United States of America and all of the people that are in it. Not just citizens, but those coming to this country for a better tomorrow. We are a nation of immigrants, even people who did not choose to come to this country, who were brought here illegally, stolen from their homelands and brought here, that built this nation with integrity and honor and loved it even when it didn't love them back, are the people that are going to save this nation. So you better come correct, because I swear in every live that I come to, if I catch you speaking shit, I'm going to get a shovel. Sorry, I had to say shovel, because I am not going to use it just to pick it up. I'm going to use it to dig the hole to bury your misinformation and make sure that nothing grows there.
Wow. W, Jim. You know what, Jim? You got something. We could make a scary movie together, you and me going after macadamias. Erica, welcome. Let's go ahead.
Okay, I drank some water, so I think I'm feeling better. All right, I might be up. No, I always say that MAGA has been duped. They've been duped. They've been duped, and they've fallen for every single okie doke that Donald Trump and his administration has put forth. He lied to them and told him that he wasn't cutting Medicaid. Look, we have over almost 700 billion being cut from Medicaid. He lied to them and said that he would stop the war in Ukraine. Russia literally just dropped, spicy balloons, as they would say on TikTok, on Ukraine. A massive assault last night. What else did he lie? He lied to them and told them that he would save the U.S. Trillions of dollars. That's not happening. He's actually spent more in the last 4 months than any president, excluding 2021, in the last 10 years.
Wow.
So he just keeps lying to them. All right. Grocery prices are still expensive. He could do something about that. He's passed no substantial legislation to actually help anyone. No one on this panel not you, Zeus, no one in this chat. Nothing that he's doing is actually helping us, the American people. He's only enriching himself and his friends, his rich billionaire friends. So there's that. So they've been duped. They're going to continue to be duped. And that's all there is. So like Dopamine, she's been duped.
W. Erica, that was clean.
She didn't land on MAGA leader. I don't know. She is a. I want better for her. But until she wants better for herself, there's nothing that I can do.
W, Erica, and even Dopamine loved you because she sent you a gift after you said that. And so what we'll do is we'll continue to keep the pressure on them. All right.
Yeah, we're gonna pray for it.
All right. W, Erica, and my brother Santana. I will say this: between Nutty, me, and Santana, we make quite the trio when it comes to handsomeness. But there can only be one Mike. You know, Michael Jackson. W. Zeus. Welcome, Santana.
You know, there was Michael Jackson, Mike Tyson. You know, like there was some big one, Michael Jordan. Right? I mean, three-headed goat or whatnot. But I will say this. I've been listening, and I didn't request up while Dopamine was up here because like I've heard her speak, and I didn't think that I could actually add anything to the conversation that would be worthwhile. Um, I've gotten to the point where there's certain people I'm just like I understand where they are, and hopefully we can do something where Zeus, I say this all the time. You are definitely way more fair than I am. You extend way more courtesy. People like to say, "Oh, you're so patient." Not compared to you because the way that you continue to try to reach out to people, especially Blaga, is something that I don't think I can continue to do at that rate. Right?
Yeah.
My focus is now shifted towards the non-voter. Right?
Yeah.
And that's something that I've been trying to do more and more lately is targeting because there's about 10 to 20 million people that are registered to vote that didn't vote. And that's been like where I think that I'm going to spend more of my time trying to address those people. And if we have an opportunity to actually, convert a MAGA or whatever, then I'll do so. But to that end, I completely agree with Jim as far as like we have to call out misinformation, disinformation immediately and like we can't allow them to continue to lie and actually, get these harmful things off because the thing about a lie, Zeus, and Donald Trump knows this as well, is the more you repeat it, the more people believe it. Right. And so if you keep saying those things over and over and over and over, then people are going to be more accepting of those things. And so we have to call those things out in real time. And it's our responsibility. So, I appreciate you. I appreciate Erica, Jim attacking, Nutty, like all of you, because calling this out and straight facts. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to miss you, but calling this out in real time is so important. And that's the only way that we're going to make any type of real change. So there's that.
Amen.
And Zeus, if you don't mind, one other quick thing. I know Erica, came in here into the live, and Dopamine was invoking her name, and she had to wake up out of her slumber in order to come and protect her name, and I'm really glad that she got an opportunity to do so. But I just have a question. Have you brushed your teeth this morning? Like, did you wash your face?
Thank you very much. I got up.
Okay, all right. Just making sure you wash like the eye boogers out and all those. Just making sure.
Lord have mercy. He's looking. He always tries to look for a way to get a little up on somebody. But we're working on that, Erica. You're beautiful, and
thank you. I literally just woke up.
Yeah, but he chooses violence on him. You know what I'm saying? This is why we got to continue to do this kind of work out here. But ladies and gentlemen, in all honesty, let's give this panel another huge round of applause. These are all awesome and amazing people just like yourself. And they're making a sacrifice to use their platforms to do the work that needs to be done to save this great country. All right. And on that note, we're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all. Thank you, panelists. All right. Thank you all. I love them. I love them all. All right, ladies and gentlemen. On that note, let's wrap this show up. Okay. Once again, it's Memorial Day. Make sure you show your love and support to all the men and women who've served this country. All right. Seriously. Whether they're here or they're not here, right? Just show them that love. And in the meantime, I want to give all of you in the audience, especially the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists. Thank you, Zena. huge round of applause for coming here this morning. You don't have to be here this morning, but you come in every day and you put up with what we're doing, all right? I think it's a good thing, and we need more of it. But, you know, I also got to give one last round of booze and shame, and you know this goes out to all of the Zeus haters out there, and they're not just my haters. These are actually your haters, right? Because I do a number, but all of you do a lot on this app. Even stuff I don't even know you're doing until I end up in these spaces and they say, oh, this person did this. And I say, okay, these are not just my haters. These are honestly all of our haters. And they hate us simply because we have common sense and we tell the truth. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them another huge round of booze and shame.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
And on that note, take care and stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. We're out of here. Have a great rest of your morning. You know what we do. You know, I got an appetite. The way we were cooking, I got an appetite this morning, all right? And Dopamine, you know you got to do better. We cook this. And I would tell you to send it to the Cash App, Dopamine, but I don't want your money. I want you to actually do better. All right? You know what I mean? Am I right, Q-Dog? Little Rock, my man, DJ Kenny. Damn. Woo, thank you, Ann. I see you, Ann. You can run, but you can't hide. You know that you're a lot of love in here. Were you not entertained this morning, ladies and gentlemen? Were you not informed, educated? We don't have to surrender to Donald Trump. No, we don't. His supporters do, but not us. We can be free. Let's go, Gucci. Thank you, Maribel. Thank you, Ann. Let's go. Wow. Mr. Incognito. Let's go, let's go. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Wow, Ashley. You know, they get mad when we do a show like this and save the country. Well, a lot of us, we can't get out there and really protest, so we got to make sure our voices get heard when we go live. That's what this is about. Here it goes. Let's go. Should we do some drill, baby drill? Let's get some drill, baby drill, and then we're out of here. I got another thing to do this morning.
She said, I like fracking very much.
Let's do some drill, baby drill.
They always go back to what they want. They always go back. She can't help it. She's a radical left Marxist. She can't help it. But we're going to end that, and we will frack, and drill, baby, drill. We're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to be drilling so deep. We're going to be, for these guys, we're going to drill. We're going to take out so much money. We're going to pay down our debt. We're going to lower your taxes to insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill. We're going to frack. Drill, there's a black. There's a baby, there's a lots of energy. You know she's going to pay. You know she's going to pay too. Right? But for there she was against all the stuff, and then all the stuff, and then all the stuff, and then all the stuff that I did to Africa. When she was getting killed in the past, she said, I like fracking very much. Look, they always go back to what they want. They always go back.
She can't help it. She's a radical.
She can't help it. But we're gonna end that, and we will frack, and drill, baby, drill. We're gonna drill, baby, drill. We're gonna be drill. Safety. We're gonna be for these guys. We're gonna drill. We're gonna take out
so much money. We're gonna cash for that. Thank you, Zena. Thank you.
Insane asylum.
You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal. Hit it.
Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna frack.
You gotta be able to do that. Where's your Doge check? You want your Doge Here it goes.
Insane asylums. They
go crazy when I say. What do you say?
The late great Hannibal Lecter.
Really?
Why? They say, why would he mention Hannibal?
Yeah,
Lecter?
why would you mention Hannibal Lecter?
We're going to lower your taxes.
Oh,
Deep insane asylum.
I get it.
You know, they go crazy when I say the
what?
late, great Hannibal.
They go crazy when he says it, and I get why. W. Ashland. Hey! Let's go! Like it's Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill like it's Hannibal Lecter time. Let's go. We're gonna lower your taxes. Deep insane asylum. I didn't know you were here, but wow. So how much do you owe? How much do you owe your house? Don't worry, we're gonna pay off all your debt. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna lower your taxes like you wouldn't believe. Because we got so much liquid gold underneath our feet, and all we have to do is drill, baby, drill to get to it, and then after that a little bit of fracking, if you know what I mean. All right, and that keep it clean though. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a great rest of your morning. Take care, stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do.